Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back to the TNT Podcast, Episode X. Insert number on the video here.
The year is 20XX.
With me are the two fine co-hosts of this podcast. We have, in one corner, Tyler.
Hey, how's it going?
And in the other corner, we have Andrew, a.k.a. Friedman.
Always a pleasure.
And we got a pretty light week this week, as we always say, and then it ends up being 2+ hours long, so, standard.
Yep, how it always goes.
We just eliminated the quick news because it never is.
Well, we also don't have that much news this week because we don't have a bunch of Overwatch and Magic to talk about for a while.
Actually, nothing this week.
We'll save the pre-release roundup because, as hoped for, Friedman and Leslie did come out for the Ixalan pre-release last weekend. So we'll save that for the end of the week roundup.
Well, I was getting my teeth ripped out of my skull.
And your new job started.
And my new job started this week. Yeah.
Yeah, but you would have been... Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Let's get to some of the news.
Let's go.
Friedman, I'm guessing you added this one.
So Atlus is up to no good again. So they were pretty famous right around when Persona 5 came out because they were blocking basically anyone from recording footage in their games and putting it on YouTube. Kind of the Nintendo approach, and they're pretty heavy-handed with even like what you could screen record on PS4, which was annoying because that was one of the big things about PS4 is you can screen record almost anything. So fans who were working on the RPCS3, which is a PS3 emulator, I don't know, compare it to the Dolphin emulator, if you will. It's a project just to get any PS3 game emulated. They were working specifically to get it compatible with Persona 5. And once Atlus caught wind, they DMCA'd the whole thing. So that entire emulation project is now done for because Atlus is being a bunch of greedy fucks again with Persona 5.
Dude, it's like Atlus makes such cool creative decisions, like with Persona and stuff like that, and then they just fuck it all up like Nintendo.
The worst part they just want to be Nintendo.
Is they're owned by Sega, and Sega does not give two shits about any other franchise. They will let you put any Sonic footage you want on YouTube. Like, I don't know.
Dude, that's because there couldn't be worse Sonic footage on YouTube than there already is. Have you seen that Sonic Nightmares collection thing? That Dreams collection or whatever?
I don't think I want to.
Oh my fucking god. I'm going to send you a link to the LP that I watched a long time ago. Dude, this is the creepiest... Tyler, you said you saw it?
No, I was just like,
I'm going to send you to a video after this. It's just, I mean, it's a Let's Play, so you're going to hear the guys commentating, but holy shit, is it terrifying. But anyway, keep going. Yeah,
that's it. I completely understand why they don't want people emulating their games. Yeah, technically it's illegal, but like you shouldn't shut down a whole emulator just because of it. That's just.
I mean, from their point of view, it's how do we stop this any other way?
Yeah, the annoying part was their official statement was, "We don't want people to experience frame rate drops. We think you should play it on dedicated hardware."
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm like, get out of here! They just don't want people pirating their game.
That's like YouTube saying, "Oh, we're implementing this limited ads bullshit all over the place because we're trying to limit or we're trying to fight terrorists." It's like, no, you got hit for billions of dollars because 25 huge companies were like, "Fuck you, YouTube."
Yeah, I don't understand why companies can't just be real about it. You know, I'd rather them be transparent instead of like throwing out bullshit that everybody knows is that. You know,
because they can still play dumb because some people will believe it. There's always going to be those people who believe it, and the people who don't believe them aren't going to do anything about it. It's like the YouTube ad thing.
Annoying.
What are you going to do? Are you going to go put your videos somewhere else that's less than a 20th the popularity of YouTube? Not going to happen.
Yeah, not happening.
What are you going to do? Tell Atlus no, let this emulator go? Not going to happen.
It's annoying. Like you can't fight them on it, even though they're like fighting the wrong fight here.
I mean, technically, and the best part is technically they're not doing anything wrong. They're enforcing their legal right.
The thing is, like, you could argue the emulator is literally just to run your official discs.
And on that flip side of the coin, everyone knows that's bullshit.
Everyone knows it's bullshit. But the thing is,
right back at him. Right back at him, saying
the war of the technicalities.
This isn't a fight the emulation community is going to win. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's over. But I don't know. It sucks. Like it sucks though. Like that. Even if like people do cool stuff like that, like it's almost like you said, right? Like Sega Sega ended up giving that guy who made a bunch of Sonic levels, who like redid a Sonic project, like they gave him a job.
Isn't that new
they let
Sonic
him
game
put-
like super good?
Yeah,
Basically.
man, it's all because of that dude
Yeah.
or that team who made it. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, not like you saying like Sonic like backs him.
But then the flip side is Sega also had this huge, is still kind of like Nintendo, also overall a big fuck on YouTube.
No.
Like Sega has a whole bunch of crap going on. I remember Total Biscuit was doing like this back when I used to watch him years ago. Was doing this whole boycott of Sega because they like DMCA'd a whole bunch of crap on YouTube.
It's really annoying, and I think it's mostly just because of like monetized videos. But like a lot of companies will say, people watch our videos and they don't want to play our games. And I kind of want to tell them, like, if I could watch a video and get the entire experience, chances are it wasn't that good of a game.
Okay.
And that's where we enter Tim's territory.
No. I know. And the counter argument, everyone likes to use the LPers are so put upon argument, and oh my god, no, it's free advertising for the game. It's not free advertising. There's another technicality let's just disprove. That's utter total bullshit. There are definitely, absolutely sales lost and gained because of Let's Players, but probably more lost than gained. If I'm going to take the whole time to watch through an LP, overall, I'm sure you're less likely to buy a game.
What if it's a multiplayer game, like League of Legends?
Then you're not watching an LP, you're just watching matches. Like, calling playing League of Legends an LP is wrong. That's not.
Well, you know what I mean. Like,
no, I know what you mean.
Like
but
just playing
that's what
a
I'm
game.
saying.
League of Legends LP episode 3000.
In my mind, a Let's Play is taking a game
like
you can play with,
almost.
in single player or limited,
like with a
people.
definitive start and finish.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
what a Let's Play is in my mind, and those kind of games, I think, definitely lose sales. I've watched Let's Plays of. I watched a recent one I watched a few weeks ago, back when I had time at work to watch LPs on my side monitor. I listened to the Best Friends. They did a whole playthrough of LA Noire. I've always been thinking about getting that game, but now I know how the story goes. I'm not going to buy that game now. And that's not an insult to LA Noire. It seems like a great game, but I don't feel like I need to be the one holding the sticks for that kind of game. In some cases, it depends on the game. Like, hell, you guys have heard me go on and on this podcast even about how hype Yakuza 0 is. But I don't have the time to play that game, so I'm never going to buy it.
Oh, I 100% have the intent to buy that game just because of what I've seen on YouTube.
No, that's fair. And that... I think sales would be even worse if there weren't people willing to do that in the world. Like Freeman. Okay, I admitted I'm probably not going to buy Yakuza 0, but that's mostly because it's on PlayStation, which I don't have. However, because we talked about it this past weekend, you offered me your Crunchyroll account, and I went out of my way to get my own account because I want to support them.
Yeah.
Like, but outside of that attitude, YouTube Let's Plays definitely make you lose sales. Like,
or in Camp Los Santos.
That is Let's Plays. If you do like a quickie or something like that, then that can help sales, and that's great. But that's not usually what happens.
Yeah.
I know I'm actually less interested in a quickie because I'm usually just frustrated by the end that it's not going to keep going. I'm not like, I better go buy the game because I don't have that much time to play games these days.
Because we're adults.
Yeah, like I'm Let's Playing the games I'm playing right now. Like outside of Shadow Warrior 2 and Dragon Age Origins right now, I'm not playing video games. I'm playing those and I'm watching things on YouTube or listening to them while I'm at work.
Yeah, it's like I've learned that now too, especially with like since I've gotten back from Arizona, it's been a lot more difficult with work. Trying to play through Breath of the Wild has been a struggle.
Dude, I'm sure you're still gonna take months for that, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting close. No, I'm not getting close. I'm more than halfway though.
There you go.
Yeah, but like, man,
You know
I
what
totally get it though.
You know
It's
what I
hard,
play
man.
that's not video games? Oh, I assumed
Ticket
you
to
guys
Ride.
No, I assumed you guys would figure Magic.
Well, Magic the Gathering.
Magic is
the
my free time
Gathering.
game of choice because it's my multiplayer game. It's instead of playing Call of Duty, I play Magic these days. Speaking of which, Freeman, I took Kess to I wasn't going to, but I took Kess to work yesterday to play against my coworkers I started playing
How'd that
with.
go?
I won the game today, which means I won the game within an hour and a half of game time.
This is against one person or against multiple?
It's against 3 people.
Oh, damn.
My winning move was my finishing move.
My finishing
was
move.
to
My secret move.
my 5% smash was
Jesus.
I had a swarm intelligence on the field, so all my spells were copied. And I dark petitioned with spell mastery to get Torment of Hailfire and Increasing Vengeance. And then I Torment of Hailfired for 10, and I Increasing Vengeance it, which were both copied by the Swarm Intelligence.
Jesus.
So I cast Torment of Hailfire 4 times for 10 each. So I cast 40 Torment of Hailfire triggers. And no one had
just the win con.
No one had that, and Nicol Bolas is the win con of that deck, dude. It's fucking great. Like, it hits everybody. It's so awesome. But yeah, so I brought Geese and Geralt for tomorrow because I don't want to just pub stomp. Because one of them didn't even really know what he was doing. Like, he took an opening hand with a Reliquary Tower in one of the guys' Azuri decks. And it's like, oh, you don't really know what you're doing.
Damn.
So it was kind of just me beating up on one guy, and then a guy with a Cat's deck was occasionally doing something, and I just kept them all suppressed and then won the game, so... Anyway, let's talk about...
Like Magic.
Let's go on to the next story, because we've already been going for almost 15 minutes.
See, that's what we say every time.
Dude, I know.
Oh man, Garden Warfare 2 again.
Garden Warfare 2. So Guild Wars 2 expansion came out this weekend. At first, I was disappointed I couldn't play because I was out with Tim and Val. But the night of the expansion went god awful, and the servers kept crashing. They've fixed all the issues since then. But I got a chance to play through a good chunk of the story last night. It's really good so far. They fixed a lot of the issues in terms of like storytelling that they've really screwed up over the years, and it's pretty good right now. This is the first expansion where mounts are in the game, and they didn't want to just make it, this is how you move faster. Mounts have like very specific uses for exploring the terrain, and all the maps are like 4 times as large as any other map they've done in the game. So
cool. There's
a big focus on like this desert exploration and finding these mounts that can get you to places you previously couldn't get to. So far it's pretty good. Luigi caught an animation of what some of the mounts look like, and he was even asking me about it. So I think people are getting excited by the expansion. A lot of long-term players are a little jaded because there is no like major endgame PvE stuff introduced with this expansion. But part of the way that ArenaNet had restructured is the expansions come out every 2 years, and then 3 months after the expansion, they start the regular content updates, which will include like new raids, new dungeons, stuff like that. So I think this is a good starting.
Or do they just take that time to prepare all this stuff, basically?
Usually, when they do content releases, they've been putting them every other month. So for the expansion, because the expansion has way more than you'd expect during a regular content update, they gave us a short break leading up to it so people could wrap up anything they need to do. Then they give you the expansion, and they give you 3 months to say, here, go play everything, go do the story, do everything you need to be ready for when we progress the story.
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of like, especially because the story isn't quite as long as the previous one. The previous one kind of dragged on. This story, I think it's like 3 less story missions in the last expansion, but they've been moving pretty fast.
Here's the thing. I feel like 3 months is way too long in today's day and age.
For what?
Content releases. Like, to wait, I feel like 2 months is a better number.
I mean, I don't know how frequently WoW does their content releases.
No, I don't know. It feels like we're in the age where
stuff comes out quickly.
Well, no, actually, it's more that people are being like conditioned to have instant gratification thanks to things like Crunchyroll and Netflix and stuff.
America.
And people are not as willing to wait as they used to be. So I almost wonder if it's worth pushing back the expansion a month to get everything ready and then just release content quicker.
They sort of used to do that during the first season. They called it the living story in Guild Wars 2, where there's just new stuff rolling out and going away at a breakneck pace. And they found that A lot of players didn't like that they had to be rushing to do stuff before the next thing would come out, and they wanted to give people more time.
I mean, that's
addition to
fair,
that,
but 3 months is a long time. Like, if you're going to play the Guild Wars 2 for the expansion stuff, you should probably not need 3 months to get into it.
well, I mean, you don't need 3 months, but the thing is, if you want to keep up with everything else going on in the game, like, I want to say there's a lot of daily time gating in Guild Wars 2, but it means you have a lot of things you can get done in a particular day. So, like,
okay.
I physically couldn't do everything that's locked out of being on a 24-hour timer in a day. So I have to say, like, what am I doing today? And you can't just pick one thing and say, rush through it, I'm done, I'm never going back.
See,
it's more
I
like,
thought you were saying
I've got to do that 10 or 12 times.
No, see,
Let me
I
figure
thought you
which
were
days
saying
I'm
that,
doing
like,
it.
3 months was the only content release at all. Like, it's, oh, wait 3 months and then we'll put out anything at all.
I mean, there's still all the other content in the game. Like, it's hard to be caught up on literally everything in that game.
Oh, then okay, that makes more sense then.
Yeah, that's partially why they space it out so much. They don't want to rush people. But overall, it's pretty cool. If you haven't played Guild Wars 2, now's a great time to try it. I think the base game is still free to play.
Neat.
So, yeah, that's my endorsement that ArenaNet paid me for. Not really.
Yep.
Tyler, you, I know, added this one.
Oh yeah, the Atari box. To follow up on, because for the longest time we were like, well, what is it supposed to be? Well, I guess Atari gave some insight into when it's coming out and how much it's gonna cost. It's supposed to be coming out in the late spring 2018, and they gave us a range for the price of a close to $250-$300 range.
Oof, too much.
And it's
Wait,
supposed
say that one more time. Say 250, 300?
Yeah.
And they're missing
That's
the
a
holiday
range.
season? What are they doing?
Yeah, dude, it's weird, and it's supposed to be a full PC experience for the TV, bringing you streaming applications, social, browsing, music, and more.
Oh my
So
god,
I
it's
don't
just a
get
Steam
Steam
box
box.
with the Atari logo.
That's what I feel like. I feel like it's basically a Steam box with the Atari logo
Holy
on it.
smokes.
All right.
I don't see what they're trying to do with this.
I don't
I
know.
don't see what they plan on doing. Like, they didn't announce, like, with the announcement, they didn't announce any new games or any unique features with it. I don't see why
terrible.
I'd buy it.
Sounds,
Yeah, it
sounds bad.
Sounds bad. And you made a good point, Freeman. Like, they're missing the holiday season, especially, in for a late spring release.
I mean, like, the only other console that did that successfully is Nintendo, and it's because they treated their spring release as a pre-release where the holiday is going to be the big Switch season in terms of production.
And it is. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
it
they
is.
did this Switch release right. Like,
This is
they
like
did.
controlled quantities to build interest. This is some marketing scheme, I'm telling you.
You mean this is what everyone did accuse them of for the NES?
Basically.
Yeah, which the SNES Classic came out this week, apparently.
I feel like the NES, they were legitimately blindsided. Like, the Switch was
they
totally
were. No,
planned.
I know. But everyone was accusing them of being like, "Oh, you guys are just limited releasing." And they're like, "No,
Yeah.
we're just stupid."
We're just bad. But the Switch was 100% planned, especially with
Oh, yeah.
coming out with all of these IPs that motherfuckers haven't seen in a while that they
You mean like
wanted to
Zelda.
see, like Metroid or Metroid, or sorry, Metroid or Metroid,
Metroid or Metroid or
Zelda.
Zelda.
or Zorlda.
Zorlda.
Yeah, Zorlda, Legend of Zorlda.
Zorlda. Sounds like a great like fan ripoff. Legend of Zorlda.
Zordo.
Legend of Zorlda.
Legend of Zorro. There you go. The Hispanic
Link's
Zelda.
wearing a mat. Oh my god, I'm dying, man. I can't. Yeah, so that's the Atari box. I'm not looking forward to this.
I don't think
They didn't say
anybody
anything about, like,
really cares.
games, did they?
Nope. That's what I said. They didn't say shit about games. Oh,
No,
wait,
it's
wait.
a PC experience.
Oh no,
Oh my
we'll
God.
support preloaded retro Atari games
Oh my god.
as well as current titles from the range of studios. So that means garbage.
What does that even mean?
Because I'm gonna ask you,
It means they're going to
Both.
release Atari-only games.
yeah. So I'm gonna ask you both. Like, if you just don't, no Google searching, nothing. Name an Atari game that came out that you liked, like
Pac-Man
published.
Championship Edition.
No.
DX.
Oh God, fucking stop.
I pay so
Hyper
little
Techno
attention to
Pac-Man.
publishers. I don't even know what they would have published.
I want to say they do
recent
some of the
memories.
Naruto games.
All right, I'm cheating. I'm cheating.
That's
me
fine.
too.
You can't. Fine, that's fine. Because
cheating.
I proved my point.
Atari published games. What is the list? Oh, look. All these old-ass Atari games.
Yeah.
All right, let's skip ahead to, 2016.
I wonder if they'll publish, preload on it, E.T.
Holy shit.
Oh my
What
god.
if they put
that's
E.T.
dope.
on there, though?
Wait.
I'll be like, yo, what the hell?
What?
These are not very good games
Wait,
they have.
wait.
on their publisher list.
Apparently in 2016, Atari's released games. Wait, it says published. Okay, apparently Atari published 2 games last year. Roller Coaster Tycoon World and Pride Fest. Which is a iOS Android game, social simulation game where you manage an LGBT pride parade.
So it's like Pride Parade Tycoon.
Interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, this is not me bashing. That just sounds boring. I'm sorry.
You know how else I found out Atari fucked up today, Tyler?
How?
So I started listening to No Clip's 10 years of Witcher thing they did at PAX, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they passed. They passed on the first Witcher. They almost had a deal with them, and then Atari was like, we control everything. And they were like, nah, fuck you. We're going to make The Witcher how we want.
Wow.
And it's like, whoops.
Well,
You screwed up, Atari. Because it just reminded me because, oh, wait. God damn it. It says in 2011 they published Assassins of Kings. Fuck me.
yeah, but they got that. But do you see Wild Hunt? No.
Yeah, you know why? Because they probably self-published that and were genius.
No, because they're like, yo, we can make a lot more money.
No, because they were like, we got GOG, baby.
We got GOG.
GOG money. Yo, can we just Can we just stop talking about Atari and talk about how amazing fucking CD Projekt Red is? Like, wow, they run GOG and make Witcher. Like, how cooler could you get? Witcher 3, that's a game. Did I buy it? I don't even remember now. I need to go to G&G and check. Witcher 3 is a game that I'll buy. That's a game that I'll fucking buy just to support. Because, wow, do they deserve it.
Came up by their bootstraps.
Seriously, in Poland. Like, they must have started in Poland in the 90s making this stuff. Or, like, the late 90s is when the first Witcher was probably started getting talked about. That's crazy. Well, actually, no.
The Game of Thrones of the video game world.
But anyway, we're not talking about
What is this
Witcher.
Elite Dangerous? What is this?
So this is a story I saw today, and I just threw it in the list because we didn't have that much news, but I thought it was really cool. So apparently, Elite Dangerous, you guys know what that is, right?
Yeah, I'm aware of the game.
That's the Oh,
it's
look,
like a spaceship game,
also in sudden news, I just went on IGN to check, and Liam Neeson has unretired from action movies.
Hell yeah.
Unretired? He retired from action
movies? He said he wasn't going to do any more action movies, and now he's saying he's going to re-retire in 2 years. So it looks like
another Taken movie.
He's working on one more action movie that he just got offered too much money for. But let me find this thing.
Jeez.
So apparently in Elite Dangerous, there were these aliens that were kind of hinted at called the Thargoids, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they were kind of just like maybe hinting at them a little bit. But earlier, so Elite Dangerous, this is reminding me, came out in 2014. It's been 3 years. That's actually crazy.
Time's flying.
But just this year, they released they kind of released an update where you started finding hints of these aliens. And apparently a little while ago, let's see, where's the article that I saw that mentioned it? Someone actually, a guy on Reddit posted a Reddit video where he came across one of their ships attacking a bunch of NPCs, and then it saw him and ran away. And the newest update they released now has them actually just straight up appearing and attacking everything. And they're this crazy new alien race that the players have to deal with. And it just seems really cool to me that, like, this game has enough legs for this, and that they're keeping it fresh this long in. It's encouraging to see games like that, not from a huge publisher that people are still like, no, we love our game and we're gonna keep working on it and making cool stuff happen and getting headlines. Like 3 years in.
It's pretty nifty.
Along that same line, a strategy game I started playing in senior year of high school, Sins of a Solar Empire. They put out a minor update today for the newest version of that game that came out a few years later, obviously. But that's an 8-year life cycle that they've been working on this one game.
Jeez,
that's amazing. But anyway, I just thought that was a super cool little piece of news because I love space stuff. But the fact that people showed up, or that they would put in a whole race of aliens, and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna kill everybody. But anyway, we only have one final news story. I saw this on Twitter, but Tyler, I'm sure you know a little more about this.
Oh yeah, I didn't read too much into it.
Oh.
Like I was doing stuff, I glanced over it, and I was like, "Holy shit, we talked about this last week." At least during the main topic. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, "Oh, Tim, this is the thing you wanted, and it's happening."
I wanted it.
Yeah. So Valve pushes straight up. This is no joke. 200 games, give or take, off of Steam.
Yep.
And like they're all like bullshit games. I did read something like briefly that a lot of the games, like a majority of the games, came from this one studio that just like did a bunch of BS assets from Unity.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like
kept
to get
repurposing them.
Well, so
or stealing them.
Yeah, stealing them, repurposing them, or like just generic assets. Like they'll take what I read. So in the engine Unity, right, or really any sort of engine these days, they give you like super duper like basic assets to just get you started essentially.
Yeah, just like the demonstrate stuff for you to use.
Yeah, so like these people wouldn't even go as far as to even sometimes rip people off, but like they would take stuff from games that they had, or even just the assets, the basic ass assets you get from Unity, and they would just throw that in, make sure it worked, and then they would just like kick it out onto Steam, and that's it. And so
it's just shitty.
Yeah, right. And so and like that's what Tim was talking about last week, like to the nth degree that some of these publishers would just throw together these games and then just saturate the market with these like this garbage. Yep. And then I guess I don't know what happened. Something happened, and then Valve was like, "Yeah, we don't want this."
I also saw
they got rid of 200 games.
I also saw in the article I read at work that Valve apparently employs a full-time team of people who work on this kind of stuff for Valve.
That just throw out trash.
No. Who police Steam for trash.
Or like figure out if a game is actually bad and needs to be removed.
Yeah.
Right. So, if it's like actually canceled, if it's separate from the indies who are really doing their best to like
suck.
And I think that's what happened here. I think that's what this case was. I think someone or a team of people like did like an investigation or like an audit of like this company that was just posting out games, and then they found out like, wow, this is just an actual generic Unity asset.
Yeah.
Or assets. Like this just isn't even quality.
Do you guys remember this thing with Jim Sterling from a few years ago?
Not Scott Sterling? Any relation?
No. Scott Sterling.
No, he does this YouTube show. It's like called the Jimquisition, I think. But this game, he basically did a review of this super shitty thing, and the dev went nuts and posted his own video talking about how fucking annoying he was. So it turned into this big internet war thing. And the guy was using like literally poorly photoshopped blood pictures from Google as his blood effects and stuff, and the game was just garbage. And it's like that kind of stuff I think is okay to take away from Steam.
Yeah, that's some shit you do for like a 48-hour game jam where it's like, yo, I need the quickest thing.
Give me Google PNG of blood splatter.
Yo, I would do that shit all the time. for game jams. Listen, man, you got 48 hours.
Hell
no
yeah.
one.
Just throw it together.
Yeah. Well,
Dude,
I
you're
mean,
gonna sleep
all right.
one
so
time.
everything's supposed to be original, but they don't know that. And I know none of the game jam judges are listening. So I'm gonna say this, and they're not gonna take away that $20 that I won that 1 year.
Yeah.
They ain't ever getting that back.
That money's changed hand like 500 times by now.
Oh,
Some
easy.
big money on the line here.
Fry's Electronics ain't ever giving that shit back. Yo, I'll never forget. Quick story. I don't even think I told you guys this. Just the first, like, you know, from that blind man game, right? We got third place overall for that game jam. The whole team won. I think overall we won like $80
Yeah, dude.
or something like that, and like it was enough for us all to like get like a gift card.
$20.
Hell yeah! I like took that shit over to Fry's Electronics, which is basically like the Micro Center over in Arizona, and like I put that towards the Master Chief Collection.
Hell yeah.
I was like, oh man, first thing I ever bought with with money I made from making games. Amazing.
I was waiting for you to say first and last thing I ever bought with money
Yo,
from making.
Actually, though, because I never saw a red cent of this. Fucking
yeah.
MotoGP Championship Quest
Yeah.
over.
The mobile game.
How many downloads we got? It's a couple million.
Oh my god.
It's a couple million downloads, I think, or no, maybe it's 500,000. I can get the number later. Anyway, yeah.
Tyler,
That's how it is.
I know that that's sad, but it's okay because I'm here.
Oh my god, kill me! Oh my god, kill me more! It says 5 million.
Oh no.
Wow.
5 million on
Tyler.
the Google Play
No,
Store.
those downloads went beyond.
Tyler, I was trying to change
Plus
topic to
fucking
save you from
Ultra.
yourself.
No, there is no
Tyler, I was
saving
trying.
from this.
I was
Listeners, there's no saving.
Tyler, I went out of my way to steal the transition from Friedman, and you just like no, you were like no, we got to talk about how shitty this is.
Off
Speaking
the
of-
rail.
Speaking
Yeah.
of things that make
Speaking
Tyler
of things-
vomit, let's move on to the Weeb
No!
shit, shall we?
Yeah.
My one chance.
Your one shot.
Work my way in.
One opportunity.
I failed my plus ultra.
Go beyond. All right, we'll get to that in a second.
It's in the right place.
It is in the right place. Now's the time to be weeby. But the first story is the least weeby of these stories. So yesterday, the Blade Runner 2022 anime, if I call it, was a 15-minute special, came out. Crunchyroll had exclusive rights to it. I got the chance to watch it last night. I know, Tyler, you saw it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first minute is the director talking about how he wanted to, in his words, tell the story of the events leading up to the new Blade Runner movie. So there's this, and there were like two other projects that had like side stories that take place in years before. So this one takes place in 2022. I think the original Blade Runner was like 2019. So it's
Genuinely don't
supposed to be
remember.
shortly after. I don't know. It was really well animated. The entire time watching, I'm thinking, oh man, if they redid Cowboy Bebop with this like style of animation, it would be really good.
It would be cool. Like you could almost kind of see that the director put his like Cowboy Bebop spin on it, because I feel like they really pushed that. It's like, oh, the director of Cowboy Bebop made.
Hey, did we
this.
mention this guy
Yeah,
to Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, did we mention? Yo, for real, like that was basically the marketing.
That was the marketing. Like,
For
they're like,
this
let's just
thing.
get someone who's got like an
From the
advertisable
director.
resume.
Of Cowboy Bebop.
It's funny you mentioned the animation, right? I liked it, but man, it was still that weird 3D shit that they're doing now.
Oh, you mean? Well, all right. So they had like a lot of CG for every vehicle, but the actual characters were 2D cell animation.
No, yeah, I was like, it was like weird, but I'm like, it's kind of good though. Like the way everything kind of moved was very well done,
It was really good.
especially like the big action scene at the end.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
The only complaint I have about this animated short, it's the same complaint I have with the actual Blade Runner, is that everything looks really pretty and I like the aesthetic, but I have no clue what's actually going on.
Yeah, I forgot.
That's the
For some
point,
reason, I forgot like 3/4 of the way through. I was like, wait,
I was
what
like,
are they doing? And I remembered towards the end.
The problem is it's a like if you cut it all the fluff in the credits, it's a 10-minute episode, and we forgot what was going on halfway in.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And the thing is, it was kind of confusing because there's like an event happens, right, with like one of the main characters, and then they interact with the other main character that you find out is like one in an alleyway, and you're like, well, what's going on? Turns out they're in cahoots together. And it's like, okay, oh, now they're just gonna go do this thing now? Okay. Wait, what's happening?
Yeah, like it was annoying to follow because the point was you weren't supposed to be following anything. You were just supposed to know there's replicants, someone's trying to set up an EMP, there's a disaster in the city, and everything is vaporwave. That's all you need to know from watching.
So I'm gonna ask you guys 2 questions, and you guys together have a minute to answer each. The first question is, do you think fans of the original Blade Runner will enjoy this?
Oh yeah, definitely. This is very reminiscent of the original movie. If you really like the lore of it, this will matter to you. Aesthetically, it was the same. Tyler, what do you got to say?
See, I didn't feel that way. At least maybe because I felt like it didn't have enough of that pizzazz. It was pretty, but I wasn't getting the full Blade Runner vibe from it, like the full like cyberpunk vibe. I don't know, maybe because there wasn't like enough enhancing or anything like that, or like because I know a lot of what made it pretty, like the first one was like the landscape shots of like just like the city,
big city
or whatever.
with color.
Yeah, big city with color. Like I don't know, like it helped establish the world a little bit more.
Yeah, there weren't too many establishing shots. It was a lot of like just on the street view.
Yeah, on the street views. But and in terms of like story goes, this is pretty important, and I thought it was like pretty good. Like after like I sat there, thought about the story, I was like, all right, this is pretty relevant. Like what they do.
The implications are pretty solid.
Yeah, like what they do, and I'm sure that the new movie like will probably bank on this. Yeah.
So my second question for you guys, since that was a minute and a half. It's okay. Do you think this will encourage anyone who is maybe on the fence to go see the new movie?
As someone who wasn't going to see the new movie, I'm now honestly a little curious what 2049 is going to be about.
Okay,
so I think it did its job for me.
Tyler, I know you're not really interested in the new movie, but do you still think it could happen?
No, I thought about it a little bit more actually after I saw this.
Cool.
As a person who wasn't a fan of the first Blade Runner, aside from it looking really pretty as hell, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll give this a shot. It might do something a little bit more different. I still have my skepticisms, but like I might give it a shot anyway.
Cool. All right. That's good to hear. All right, Freeman, let's keep chugging down these weebs.
All right, so I didn't watch this one, but this one has been all over the news because how stupid it is.
Wait, you didn't watch it?
I didn't know. I haven't had a lot of free time since this weekend.
No, I know. Oh, right. Tyler, you had me watch it before Freeman got on, didn't I?
Yeah, the trailer. Yeah, at least it's the trailer.
Go ahead.
The official Jaden Smith anime. So a couple days ago, I think maybe it was Friday, Netflix released their new original series, Neo Yokio, by, I think, Production IG did it. So they're famous for so-so anime. But this, I don't know what we're supposed to make of this show. I've heard terrible things of the show, from the animations, just the way characters act, or what the show's even supposed to be about. One of the bigger reviewers calls the show a possible critique of what the life of the one percenters is. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's like some bougie kid who's like, I don't know, he has some lightning powers or some crap. I don't know.
Like it from the trailer.
So,
all I know is Jaden Smith is the main character, and the main character's personality is crafted after Jaden Smith's Twitter persona.
Oh no!
Yes, that's
no!
Like they designed.
You saw his hair's fucking pink.
Yeah, man. I didn't know it was Jaden Smith.
Yeah,
I watched it.
Tyler, let me put it this way: who else could Jaden Smith possibly act as?
All I know about the show is there's a certain plot point where he's got to convince some girl to go to some dance with him. So his award-winning strategy is, I'm going to give her this giant Toblerone bar. Oh my God. And that's the plot of the episode. And I was on one of my, it was that one Facebook page, anime screenshots without context, where just him looking very depressed, going, you don't deserve my giant Toblerone.
Oh my god.
Yo, next time I put the moves on a woman, I gotta hit her with the Toblerone.
She's gonna be
Straight
like,
up
Tyler, what
just-
the hell? What's that? Is that thing in your pocket? Yeah, it's my giant
It's
Toblerone
my
bar.
and then I produce a giant Toblerone. You thought I was
terrible.
kidding.
And now
Oh,
people
no.
are buying. Apparently, the giant Toblerone bar is a real thing, and now people are buying.
Yeah,
it. So this is
it's been a real
this
thing.
See, this is the
Toblerone
curse of the
stage
fucking
5.
internet. This is a piece of trash that shouldn't exist and shouldn't be supported. And everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, look at how terrible it is!" And oh my god, it's like The Room.
Yo, but
It's the
Toblerones are
anime
delicious.
Room. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
they are really good. I love them.
I'm okay with Toblerone getting press, all right?
that's
Like,
not
I'm right.
that's the symptom
I
of
know.
the disease.
I know it's a symptom, but shit, man, Toblerones are the shit, though.
I don't give a fuck. Have
I
a
know
real
it's
show.
trash.
Have My Hero. Have him be like, "Oh, let's fucking kill Stain with a giant Toblerone bar, and that'll sell Toblerone."
You mean Boku no Hero?
Boku no Toblerone Academia.
Boku no Toblerone. I'm dying.
My Toblerone. Not even
My
My Hero
Tob-
Academia, just My Toblerone.
Boku no
Boku no
Toblerone.
Toblerone. No.
All right, so we're already talking about. I'll move on. So this is the last week of the summer anime season. Everything's coming to a close. Everyone's getting real upset. More importantly, Hero Academia is also ending, which
So,
I
for those of
thought
you at
had
home-
another week.
for those who are listening,
Shame
no.
in your voice.
The shame.
Hey, it's not shame. No, it's sadness.
Oh god.
While Freeman and Leslie were here for pre-release, Freeman also. So what was it? Back in June when we did the camping trip, you showed us episode 1 of My Hero.
No, it was before that. It was before you guys had even moved. I showed you guys episode 1. of
way
Hero Academia.
before.
Really?
Way before.
Oh no, you
Right.
watched. So it's funny. I actually remember you watching the newest one with Stain in it when we were on the camping trip, and Val totally didn't remember. But that's
Yo,
when you
because
watched
me and
it, right?
Freeman were the only people. All
Watched
right,
it at that
at the
point.
time,
Yeah.
yeah, because so like everybody was watching, but they're like, we don't give a fuck.
Regardless,
Leslie's like, I don't give a shit.
regardless, I
Now
remembered
she
all of
does.
it. I super remembered everything that happened, and I was like, oh no, not Ingenium. Don't mention Ingenium. I actually thought he had died, so I
Yeah, I did
don't
too.
care. But like, I actually no. I'm saying remembering
Oh.
from when you showed it to us, I thought I had remembered that he had died. So when he was actually alive after the attack, I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, dude. Yo, Tim, what is this though? Oh no, actually, keep going. I want to hear the rest of it.
No. All I was gonna say was, so when Freeman and Leslie were here, Freeman showed me and Val. Leslie like passed out super early on Saturday because what a punk. Getting tired after all that driving and release. Me, Val, and Freeman
not
were
even
like,
here to
"Hey,
defend herself."
Tyler, that's the only way I survive being beat to death right now." No, but Freeman showed me and Val episode 2, 3, and
2
maybe
through
4.
5. I think we
That
watched 2
many?
through 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we watched a whole bunch because every episode was
Yeah.
like, "Is Leslie awake?" No. Okay, back to watching My Hero.
Damn.
Tyler, she was out for like 2 hours before we all
She
went to...
explained to me last night.
Um,
She did. She
So
explained.
the next day, Freeman and Leslie left, and Val and I just turned on My Hero, and basically whenever I wasn't at work, watched My Hero. And last night we finished all 37 currently released episodes of My Hero.
Jesus
Hell
Christ.
yeah.
Yo, but what is this? You know what? Also, Leslie told me. She
Oh,
told me
come
you
on.
didn't cry during 4.
Yo,
Or episode 3.
Tyler,
No, 2 when he
No,
says
2.
you can be a
I keep
hero.
forgetting which one it is. Yeah,
you
it's
know
2.
what? You know what? I need a little more of a connection to just pop in like that. I'm not gonna lie. I told Freeman she was asleep, so she doesn't fucking know. I admitted to Freeman and Val that my eyes were watering a little. I was not crying, but I admitted that they were watering up. And
All right,
I
well,
would,
it's time to go back and watch it. All right.
Yeah, it's
No,
hard to rewatch.
That's not
Time.
even. You're not even wrong. But that was the first watch. I super didn't even know it was happening. And
You
you
can
know
be
what?
a
No.
hero
You know what also doesn't help? You know what also doesn't help? Having watched episode 1 months before. If you watch
True.
1 and see the crying scene in 1 and then see this immediately, I could also see how that hits you way harder.
Yeah.
I remember I watched it. So I watched it, and then I watched it with Leslie again, right? Because we were watching this is when we were like watching like the beginning episodes together. I was fucking leaking, dude.
Dude, I'm sure.
Oh my god.
So Tyler,
she's like,
when I showed Tim, Luigi, and Val the first time, I did not know I was going to cry rewatching episode 1, and I had to like hide the fact that I was sobbing up during the sequence with his mom.
dude, it's fucking real.
Tyler, the moral of the story is don't fucking listen to Leslie when she's asleep for a story that she's claiming to be there for. Jesus. She didn't even cry. I was fucking asleep. Yeah. How do you know?
Damn. Yo, because it's believable.
No,
you're not the type of dude to cry at stuff.
Such no basis for this judgment at all. Leslie's also the person who just flat out in front of everyone was like, I don't want to watch My Hero because I hate watching TV with Tim.
Damn.
Yeah.
She did say that.
Yeah.
Damn,
Whoops. I'm not going to trust Leslie's opinion on that, I guess.
Damn.
Yeah, she would have gotten so pissed watching you because you were like, it was like 3 or 4.
No, okay.
It's like doing this funny thing, and you're like,
stop it.
Stop, loser.
Tyler. During the scene where he fucking where Deku, I'm just gonna call him Deku. I never remember the names from the show.
Yeah, fine.
When Deku throws the baseball.
Yeah.
And he does the finger thing, and All Might is looking around the corner. All Might's like, dude, you're so cool. And I'm like, All Might, you're such a fucking loser. And I said it in the no. I said it in the most endearing way ever. Tyler, I love how much of a loser he is. I love how much Tyler, this show is so good because everybody's a fucking loser and ignores everybody else. The fact that what's his name? Fuck, Explosion Boy. What's his name? Oh my god. Bakugo. I can't remember. The fact that his name was going to be... He wanted his first shot to be
Murder
Explosion. That he's such a loser, and that's amazing. Like, the fact that he thought he could get away with that is so dumb. It's fantastic. It's realistic. It's so good. I love this show.
Oh, fuck. I know you do.
Yeah,
I know you do.
If I didn't love it, we wouldn't have plowed the fuck through it in 3 days.
Hey man, you just can't call All Might though a loser.
He's
in front of Leslie.
Tyler.
Hold on,
Tyler.
stop. In front of Leslie.
I don't give a fuck.
And get away with it. I don't give a god.
I don't give a fuck. He's a huge loser, and I love him for it. Tyler, he talks about how he's an entertainer in the video just to Deku about getting accepted. He's like, I'm an entertainer just like you. And it's like, shut the fuck up, you big loser. That's great. I fucking love that loser.
Anyway.
Sorry I don't call everyone their special beans like someone else does.
Yeah, special beans, man. Too many of them.
Yeah. I have my losers and someone else has special beans. They're the same fucking thing.
My god.
I'm gonna get heated as shit over this.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
No, I'm not gonna pretend that I don't like TV shows just because I make fun of them. That usually means I love it. I make fun of you guys more than anybody else. That's because I care about you guys.
Well,
That's how I fucking do it. And I'm not gonna back the fuck down just because she's gonna get pissed at me.
No. I tried to explain this. I was like, yo, Tim likes things differently than we do.
Yeah,
to a certain
degree. Get
the
fuck out of here.
He likes it. I said this. I defended you.
Tyler, I'm not attacking you. I'm just declaring for the world so that when you guys play the audio at my funeral, I'll get one last shot in.
God damn. Has been called in before everything.
Yo, I'm just gonna hear like Leslie's voice screaming out like New Orleans, and then I'm just gonna be my window's just gonna explode.
One Punch Man season 2.
No, hold on. So I gotta get through the rest of the part of transition. You guys started popping off. Fall season starts next week. As you could tell from listening to us, Hero Academia was like the only thing to watch this season. There were a couple gems here and there. I can't personally recommend any of them because I didn't like them. Fall season starts soon. Food Wars starts in a week. Get hype. But more importantly, Crunchyroll used to get a lot of their shows through Sentai Filmworks. But ever since they partnered with Funimation, Sentai's been kind of iffy about letting them get all their shows. But they didn't have a streaming platform of their own. They announced they're partnering with Amazon. So all the shit that Sentai Filmworks would normally give to Crunchyroll is now going exclusively to Anime Strike on Amazon. And no one is excited at all. So get ready
So, side note, tangentially related to this, actually, Freeman, I told you what we started watching tonight, right?
No.
Was that
Oh,
only
yeah,
you?
you did. Sorry, yeah,
So,
you did.
so Val, we were looking for anime to watch because I was on the Crunchyroll app, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to watching House right after getting hype about anime for a few days. I need to ride the anime wave for another week or so, and then I'll cool back down. But we were looking for an anime to watch, and Val's like, "Oh, you've never watched Death Note," and that's like one of Freeman's favorite animes ever. That's the reason he loves anime. It
was one of my first that got me like into it.
Okay, that's what she said. I wanted you to corroborate it, but
yeah.
So, I'm looking on Crunchyroll and I type in Death, and Death Note is not there, and it's on Netflix.
Yep.
It is on Netflix.
But is that similarly related to? Is that part of the war of buying stuff up?
That mostly has to do with Death Note was owned by Viz Media, so I think it's still on Hulu, but Viz will typically license directly to like bigger companies like Hulu and Netflix. They don't work with Crunchyroll directly. They do for some shows, like Bleach and Naruto both went to Crunchyroll, despite the fact that Viz owned them.
Side note, how are you supposed to watch Trigun? Where can I watch Trigun?
I want to say Funimation has it now.
Like
Damn.
I looked for it on Netflix because I watched it on Netflix like 2 years ago, and then I'm like, oh, it'll be on Crunchyroll. Nope, still not on Crunchyroll.
Nah, they might be getting the subtitle version soon, but the sub and dub are both on Funimation.
Anyway. All right, next story. I didn't mean to extend this to like an hour for the pre. God damn.
Yeah, right.
This is what happens.
So this is the good news. We got a bunch of additional season announcements this week. The first one was that One Punch Man Season 2 is getting a new production staff. It looks like Studio Madhouse, who had originally announced Season 2, they did most of Season 1 with, what's the term when you describe it? Outsourced work. A lot of it wasn't done in-house. They kind of just contacted animators or people that they knew that they're like, hey, we want to do this project well. Let's get everyone we know who's good to just like kind of freelance this project. That's what they did. And the problem is they couldn't do it a second time. So they gave up rights to Season 2 and it went to JC Staff, who's pretty good. They did Food Wars. So, their animation quality is pretty top-notch. The question is if they can match how Madhouse did it last season. I have confidence. There's no telling how it'll go, but point is, the fact that they've announced an animation studio and a director means we're within 6 months of hearing a release date. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I gotta say, having watched One Punch Man a while ago, I want to get Val to see it because it's not very long and it's really cool. And it's also
Wait, Val hasn't seen it yet?
No.
Oh my god.
I saw it.
Of course, Val hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, how would she have? Why would she care about One Punch except when I made her watch it?
Good point.
No, but One Punch was great, and it's weird though to watch My Hero now, because I'm like, what's with all the things about hero agencies and everything now? Like, what's with all these organized hero shows?
Because they both did the same thing in different ways of like, how do you have a world where superheroes are like,
we want to have lots of powers, but not have it be just a few people. Like everybody has powers. Well, then you have hero agencies.
Yeah.
/ quirks.
They want that Marvel money now.
Actually, though.
Yo, everybody's on that hero train. Let's fucking get on that hero train too.
So what else, Freeman?
So this one was really unusual. So there's this big series called A Certain Magical Index, and it has a couple spin-offs called A Certain Scientific Railgun and A Certain fucking, I don't remember.
This sounds dumb and great.
I saw the first season because I wanted to figure out what the hell all the hype was about. This is like the anime subreddit's top hype sequel outside of like Spice and Wolf Season 3. These two are pretty neck and neck. But I watched first season. I personally didn't enjoy it, but everyone else really likes this. And it was kind of a shocker to hear that they were announcing a Season 3 because Season 2 was like early 2010s-ish, so it's been a while. There's no particular reason to pull out of Season 3. And the Index anime is owned by this company called Kadokawa, which everyone really kind of hates. They're one of those like shitty publishers. So everyone heard it and they're like, okay, if they're reaching into the vault and releasing Season 3 of a highly anticipated show that may flop due to how long it's been since the last season was out, some shit's going down. Which leads me into the big topic for tonight called the Kadokawa Conspiracy.
Oh my god.
So, hear me out on this one. This is a fun story.
Oh no.
So, earlier in the year, Kadokawa funded this tiny anime called Kimono Friends, which was this like CG anime about these animal girls, and it was supposed to be aimed at kids. and they wouldn't shut up about like how this was the lowest budget show that had ever been done. It had 10 animators, 1 director, and just the voice staff, and that was it. So it was one of those things where it was kind of like set up to fail, and it was just to appease the IP owners from China. So they gave it to this one guy who he was really passionate about making this project work. And you could tell, like, even though the CG was kind of shitty, they did probably the best they could with what they had. They hired a bunch of like rookie voice actors who hadn't had big roles before, and all of them, like, they put their heart and soul into these roles. And the quality showed, and the anime community around episode 3 or 4 noticed, like, this is a really well-written show. And it exploded. People were loving it. Merchandise was showing up. And this entire series is based on this Korean, or not Korean, sorry, Chinese. This is very offensive that I confuse these two. Chinese cell phone game that was pretty much a dead IP where the creator said, I want this IP to be out there for any fan content to be made. And Kadokawa was like, oh, why don't we make a TV anime out of it? So the point is they do. It's really successful. It's blowing up everywhere. It was something they made with like, they keep calling it like a shoestring budget. Like, I don't know how big it was. It was tiny. And this thing is now a big moneymaker. And the controversy came up that there's still that kind of rule in effect. The IP holder says, we don't care if you use this any way you want. Any fan can make content. So the first 12 episodes come out. Kadokawa was working with them on a season 2. When the director's like goes to staff and he's like, hey, let's make a bonus episode just out of pocket because we love this series so much. They're like, sure, yeah, let's do it. And they do it, which is perfectly fine. The IP holder said, yeah, go ahead and do it. Kadokawa steps in and says, this is bullshit. You don't let us monetize it. You're fired.
Damn.
They just fired the director. They fired the staff and said, no, you got to come through us first, even though they didn't have to. So Kadokawa announces season 3 of Index. Then they announced that the director resigned a month ago. Then the director tweets, that's bullshit, I didn't resign. And now Kadokawa keeps putting these news alerts saying, oh, they worked with so-and-so company, which was outside of contract, and these other companies like, actually, they came to us and got permission. So people are piecing together the timeline of when certain things happen, and they're kind of pointing out that, Kadokawa lied and fired people because they wanted more money. So today, the day that everyone's like, all right, they better apologize or it's over, they roll out every single voice actor from the show to apologize instead of the company making a statement that it was their fault. The voice actors come out and say, oh, we're sorry this is happening. They don't apologize for anything that they did wrong. And this is not the first time Kadokawa's gotten caught up shutting down series because they want more money. And anytime something bad happens, they dig into their vault and they release a show like Full Metal Panic or Index or Haruhi to try and deal with the negative criticism. But the problem is anytime a show gets successful, they lock them in this vault where they're like, oh, we'll pull out a new season. We need to get attention away from us. And they kill their franchises this way. And
Jeez.
This is like the big artist versus corporation kind of thing. And we're finally hitting the point where people are getting mad at the big publishers. Like they sold 80,000 DVDs on their last release and 50,000 people already signed like the petition to bring the director back.
Wow.
Like people are absolutely livid right now.
Yeah.
That's some wild shit.
And I forget what the site
that
is.
Sounds like a conspiracy.
It's like Nico News or something, like one of the big like anime news sites. It sorts news stories based on how much people are talking about it, and based on just how many people are talking about it, the first 15 stories should all be related to this show, and they are censoring every story related to it because they don't want any negative criticism. Like this is monumental, and this has been going on for like 3 days. I can't wait to see the fallout from this because they are ruining anime worse than ever.
Did 9/11, fam. Jeez.
Yeah. So it kind of sounded like I was rambling there for a bit, but I wanted everyone to understand exactly how fucked up this company is.
No, that's crazy though.
Yeah.
That's a story I didn't know I wanted to hear until I heard it.
And that is the Kadokawa conspiracy.
Oh shit. You heard it here.
You heard it here, not first, folks, but
not first.
If you heard it first, congratulations.
You did hear it though.
You definitely heard it. And that's the weeb shit.
Woo. All right. With that, then, we're going to just take our break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about the impact of review aggregate sites on, I guess, entertainment these days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that.
And we're back. Break's over. We had some laughs during the break, watching some Sonic video.
God, don't become a Sonic fan. Don't go down the rabbit hole.
You guys have to watch the rest of that. It just like
I'm probably going to.
So if you saw that thing at the end where they mentioned the movie maker, that's where you can run around the stages with a camera and film the stages of the game. It's interesting.
That's just weird.
But anyway, we are here to talk about. So, this came to my attention at least on Twitter a little while ago. Jeremy, the guy from CinemaSins, posted about an article where some head of some movie studio was like, our movie was not a piece of shit. It got terrible reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's why it failed financially. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Oh, nope. Okay, so there's the article he posted refuting that one, but where's the original article that made him post that? If I don't find it within like 10 seconds, I'm just going to give up. Here it is. Hollywood said, okay, yeah, it's a New York Times story, actually, where the director of... Where is it? I think the director, producer, and film finance. Oh, okay. That's not what movie he did. Basically, the New York Times posted an article where all these studio executives were like, Rotten Tomato ruins it for everything. Yeah.
Just ruins everything.
Baywatch had a 19 on there on Rotten Tomatoes and bombed, and everyone's like, oh, that's why. Yeah. Our high expectations appear to have been crushed by a 19 Rotten Tomatoes score. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword got a 28 and tanked.
God damn. But Timothy, isn't Rotten Tomatoes accumulation of most popular reviews?
I mean, yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's odd to think that if the general opinion is bad, then people won't like your movie.
So yeah, that's mostly why I wanted us to talk about this, because I know we're pretty much in consensus, and this isn't really a hot topic or like a crazy topic, but it's worth talking about because the people at the top are like are trying to play this off as like, oh, we're being attacked by Rotten Tomatoes low scores, but that's like saying you're being attacked by like a bunch of people chanting at you on stage how your stand-up comedy is shitty. Like, oh, how dare you think my comedy's shitty? No, it probably means it's shitty.
Yeah, which is weird because you'd think that they would know that was the case. It's like, oh, the reviewers, right? Like I feel like they should be saying like, oh, well, the reviewers are getting paid off or some bullshit. Like, no, like they're attacking personally Rotten Tomatoes for, you know, their apparent scoring system.
I mean, so it's funny. I know the Hollywood guys are doing it for selfish reasons, but I actually do think it's dangerous to rely too much on Rotten Tomatoes, because while the majority is the majority for a reason, usually, it is dangerous to assume the majority's already right. There's definitely a danger there, and that's not me. That's not supposed to be some giant overriding statement, although it does kind of end up being that. But groupthink is dangerous. That's definitely true, but it also doesn't mean they're all wrong, but it means you should try to form your own opinion. Like, if a movie looks interesting to you, you should still go see it. You shouldn't just say, oh, it's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, so clearly I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some movies that just review terribly that are enjoyable to certain people. Like, I personally love the movie Hot Rod with Andy Samberg. That is by no means a good movie.
Yo, Hot Rod.
I'm pretty sure there's a number of people who actually like that movie. I'm pretty sure it's turned into a cult classic.
It kind of has.
I love Hot Rod.
But when it came out, it did not have very good reviews.
No, that's
not. Or, you know what, I was telling Tim, I watched for the first time Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Hot Rod has a 40%.
Let's see. I want to see.
It's high.
Tenacious D.
Classic, I guess not.
Apparently, Tenacious D was so bad. According to Jack Black, it was so bad that he never wants to do movies again, or at least like work on movies again.
Just the reception to it.
Yeah, like the reviews did so bad, like the reception was so bad. Oh, but it got a 54 on Rotten Tomatoes though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that's not abysmal. Yo, that's not the Emoji movie.
That's like average. What does the Emoji movie have right
now?
now?
Emoji movie was at like 9%, dude.
That seems high.
Oh my god.
Here, Emoji movie.
The problem is
10%. Oh.
So the problem is,
dude.
how do I put it? People treat Rotten Tomatoes like the definitive, like this is what it has to mean because of how many reviews they've kind of aggregated.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's because that they're treating having a bad review on Rotten Tomatoes like it's a death sentence.
Right.
I mean, only because it kind of is from their point of view, but it's more that it's a death sentence, but Rotten Tomatoes is a symptom, not the problem. That's what it really boils down to. Rotten Tomatoes shows that your movie is shitty in probably the easiest way possible because it aggregates all. It's a place where anyone can go, and their review does really add up. It's like leaving an Amazon review for a movie you watch. Like, technically, it does factor in.
Right. Though I still think it is messed up that they're attacking Rotten Tomatoes for it.
That's just like attacking the general movie-going public, basically.
Yeah.
But you don't want to say that.
So instead, you're just gonna be like, "No, we're not bad. You're bad."
I mean,
it's like
more
people
sense
say you don't get my art.
I mean, it's easier than them saying like, well, it didn't do well because viewers didn't like it. Because that's just a dumb statement to say. If your viewers didn't like it, it was a bad movie. But I mean, if you can say something like blame Rotten Tomatoes and to the general person who doesn't really understand what Rotten Tomatoes is, maybe this is an excuse that might make you want to go to the movies again.
Well, you know what this is? This is the same kind of talk we were talking about earlier, where companies use some dumb excuse to cover up their own fuck-ups or their own selfish money reasons.
Yeah, this is the Kimono Friends thing all over again, but in America.
But like that's what this is. This is how can we blame someone else for our failings? And oh, look, Rotten Tomatoes has all these reviews on it. Well, clearly if they're all bad, that's Rotten Tomatoes' fault.
Yeah, I just find that strange.
See, so the other reason that I wanted to bring this up was because I remembered the article from a few years ago where it said Obsidian missed out on bonuses for employees because they got like an 89% for Fallout New Vegas on Metacritic, and Bethesda was only going to give them bonuses if they hit 90.
I did hear about that like forever ago, yeah.
That
I don't like the sound of that.
Also bad.
That is really bad, especially for like I feel like incentivism like that isn't good.
I mean, actually, I can totally understand being like, look, here's a way. You can understand where Bethesda's coming from. If you guys get something that's generally accepted as this good, we'll give you bonuses. But then, like, I feel like almost the better way Bethesda should have done it to look better is to... Okay, sorry. I'm taking a second to think about it. Basically, if Bethesda had told Obsidian 90%, and then in Bethesda, they were like, okay, 87. That way we have a little bit of playroom, because that gives us a way to adjust for the ebbs and flows of popular opinion. Because, like, 90% is really tough, especially if you take into account fan votes, because then you always have the internet losers who just one-star it.
Mm.
And it's so hard. Every single one-star hits so hard.
Yeah, that median, that average, like, goes down significantly.
Yeah, the median is
like,
high, but the mean is so
one.
low.
Doesn't like sites like Metacritic, aren't they a little strict with which reviews they actually use when they get their final score?
Huh?
I don't know. Let's see.
What'd you say for me?
I'm not.
Isn't Metacritic usually with Rotten Tomatoes anyone can leave a review, but doesn't Metacritic only aggregate from like established review sites?
I don't know.
I know Metacritic does. I know, like, Metacritic has like the user review. Well, it looks like also
well, that's what Rotten Tomatoes has.
No, I know Metacritic has the same thing.
Okay, so they do allow fan views.
Yeah, critic reviews and then user reviews.
The other problem actually with Metacritic Well, actually, the problem with these aggregate sites in general is there's no established standard. So numbers and things from different organizations mean different things. And giving one number, like, it's kind of the problem with the whole review thing in general of just assigning a number to something.
Because numbers mean different things to different reviewers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, like,
Looks like they're
a
hitting
number
the same...
shouldn't determine whether or not you like something. The whole point of a review is to read or watch it. So to then distill like 50 reviews down of 50 people's personal opinions, say 5 out of 10. Like, that's
I mean, I'm getting
not
flashbacks to when
accurate.
Pokemon Ruby Sapphire remake came out, and they have this whole review about why it's good, and at the bottom it was like 7.8 out of 10, too much water. And that was the tagline that was thrown around for that game.
Yep.
But like, you couldn't take just that out of context. It seemed so stupid. Like, you had to read the review to understand what that was all about.
But like, from what I see though, so I'm like going back and forth actually right now between Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes for their scoring. They're not like worlds apart, but like they're like almost within the same ballpark. Like, I'm just looking at like comparing a couple of movies. Like, I saw Mother got like a 74 right on Metacritic, but like on Rotten Tomatoes it got like a 66 or something like that. So like,
I
it's
always feel like the score will be lower in the more popular place.
Yeah,
because the people
could
who
see
want to
that.
make noise will go there, and the people who want to give real reviews will also go there. Like, if you look on one other comparison for movie to movie is IMDb to Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb is usually higher.
Yeah,
because
not a lot of people
IMDb is a
go
much
there.
more hardcore movie site, not
It
like
really
actively
is.
reviews. Like, Rotten
I use
Tomatoes,
that
like,
site
here's
so
just
much.
talk about the new stuff, and IMDb's like, let's talk movies.
Like, no, we talking movies here. Like, this is where
Film.
serious people go.
Like, they
Uh,
hell, IMDb still represents their stuff with stars. That's how dedicated to the craft they are. I don't know. I wanted us to talk about it only because it's such a divisive thing. Because, again, unfortunately, in today's internet world, a number is the way people ingest things a lot more. Like, you're going to get
it's
a lot more hits.
simpler.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot more hits off of a review where you have a number tagline versus a review that's like, no, you just have to read the review. Like, maybe I'll write a paragraph summary at the end, but I'm not giving you just a number, and that person with integrity probably fails. While, like, IGN with its big red bubble of number plus 6 bullet points works.
I kind of like that a little bit more. Like, at least the summary. Like, I would read some reviews, like, or like IGN. At least they would sum it up at the end. But like, I wouldn't go to Kotaku though. Like, there's some places that like don't formulate their stuff well, and this kind of like goes into what I was thinking about too. Is like, sometimes, or maybe not like what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of like, yeah, like, what if like the reviewer just like isn't that with it? Like, they're just, I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
No,
now.
like, what if they have a bad day even?
Yeah, like, they have
I'm in
a bad
shitty
day
mood while I'm
or-
playing this game that I needed to be in a good mood for.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
or-
I have a good example of this just because the Guild Wars 2 expansion came out. So, generally speaking, MMOs don't get reviewed till at least a week after just how much content's in them. Earlier today, Metacritic got a review for the game from a normally established review website. But if you went through and you read what they reviewed, they didn't actually review the new expansion. They reviewed the first content released since the last expansion, which was like a year and a half ago. And it was very clear that they barely brushed over it. And there was everyone was making a fuss about it on the subreddit. So it was the only review on Metacritic for a little while that said that this expansion was like an 8 out of 10. Which isn't terrible, but like, it was incorrect. The person didn't review this correctly, and it was from an established reviewer. And if you trusted this blindly, you would have gotten an incorrect opinion of it. Since then, that review has been removed. But the idea behind these aggregation sites is that if one person's a bad reviewer, it doesn't matter because a bunch of other opinions matter as well.
No, and that's the good point of all these sites. The problem is, I feel like there's no good way to balance it.
Plus, I want to know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. The problem is like you can trust the general opinion, but like there's at least I'll bring it back to anime. There's this one reviewer on YouTube who we generally have pretty identical opinions when it comes to anime. So I'll typically watch his videos for recommendations because I know that he may recommend something off the beaten trail and I will enjoy it because I have that same kind of taste. And I highly recommend that listeners find someone who has a similar taste to you and listen to what they have to say because that'll probably work out best for you. You may not always match the general audience, but I think that's what studios are mad about is that everyone thinks they're the general audience. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the other problem with that attitude is then you don't get exposed to totally different things. Like if Tyler didn't have friends who would have shown him Redline, he would have known that he hated Redline.
Yeah. Well, but you're exactly right though. Like I would rather, and also that's why I kind of like. I was almost kind of trying to save this for the end, but like that's why I don't honestly I don't look at Rotten Tomatoes or anything like that. Because because I know at the end of the day, like if I read the review, I'm not gonna give a shit about what they say. Like it's about my experience. Like, and I care more about what my friends say about something.
Yeah.
Right. Because like even if like I didn't like Redline that much, like you guys like it. I know you guys and I have like similar tastes and things.
So you just wanted to give it a shot.
Yeah, like I'd rather give a shot, and it's like so if I don't like it, that's whatever. Like, but I'm still exposed to something else.
Yeah.
Right. And like that's the fun part of it. Like I don't want to like go there, like go to like like a review site. Like yeah, it gives me some insight into how other people took the movie, and I find that interesting. But I don't go there for recommendations typically.
Real quick, what do you guys think Redline got on Rotten Tomatoes?
I want to say hi. I would totally say hi. No, you don't think so?
I know it tanked in Japan when it came out.
Really?
Yeah, it's
I'll
really
say
crushing. I'm gonna
let
say.
me throw a number out there.
Go ahead,
60,
Tyler.
65.
Hold on. I was actually gonna go low 60s, high 50s.
I was really surprised. It isn't 84 right now.
Woo! Oh, wow. See, damn.
That's awesome.
But like if someone like Tyler went in and saw this at 84, this must be like the greatest anime movie ever. Tyler would be disappointed.
That's the problem. There's no.
But see, I see though. But like me though, I try to stay objective with things. Like I could totally see why it like because when you said like it didn't do that well, that's what brought like my estimate down a little bit. But like objectively looking at it, I'm like, wow, this is actually like a really well done piece of artwork here.
Just because you don't enjoy it, you can at least appreciate that someone put the time in and that it for the right person.
Oh yeah,
great.
I know countless of hours went into that animation.
5 years of hours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Specifically.
And it was well done.
That said, even the opposite is also true. Like there are movies I'll watch where I personally enjoy it, but I'll walk away going, "Yeah, that was a god awful movie." I understand why no one else wants to watch it, but I like it for some arbitrary reason, and I expect those movies to do poorly. I guess maybe the movie studios are convinced that that's how everyone's going to behave. Is they're just going to preemptively judge, and you won't get like a cult classic again out of this. But the problem is they're like talking like blockbuster films that aren't doing well, like not stuff that you would expect to even be impacted by this.
Yeah. I think the big problem is I think it's again for them a symptom of the internet where now there's a number. It's really if they had a website where they could attack Facebook posts, like before Rotten Tomatoes got so huge, people would post on Facebook about a movie being terrible, and then Facebook would be like, "This trending thing, Batman versus Superman, is terrible."
Yeah,
but you can't attack Facebook. Like, a movie company can't do that. That's not movie related, so then it looks ridiculous. But you see Rotten Tomatoes, why are all these people leaving our negative reviews? Rotten Tomatoes is the problem. But it's more that now there's a target that they can go after. And it sounds ridiculous, and that's why so many people, again, on the internet are like, this is stupid, you're just dumb.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking up stuff now. No, because like I just looked. So as I'm looking at stuff like the recent movies that came out, and I saw Wind River got like certified fresh, but I think it only made. Hold on, I think it only made. Oh no, it did. No, it made more. It said originally like $1 million or like $10 million. I was like, no fucking way.
I have a great example of a movie like that recently. I don't know why this movie keeps sticking in my head, probably because one of my podcasts was raving about it. Kubo and the Two Strings. That claymation animated movie recently. I heard that was fucking amazing, but no one went and watched it. So it's like the opposite of Rotten Tomatoes. In fact, it's like everybody sees the review, but then when they look at it for themselves, they're like, "This probably isn't for me." But for the people who it was for, loved it.
Damn, Wonder Woman got a 92. I'll say it right here. I don't think Wonder Woman deserves a high score. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good. You know what my only problem was with that movie?
Let's knock it down a letter grade to like a B plus B.
I'm okay with that. That's perfectly acceptable to me. I thought the supporting cast was way too much. Like, as in there was too many supporting roles.
I can
outside that,
but there was a lot of good shit in that movie. No,
easy.
You know what's a great movie that's an example of the word of mouth versus score thing? Okay, this is gonna sound. Trust me with this. What does BVS have on Rotten Tomatoes?
BVS?
Batman vs Superman. It's probably pretty low.
What does it have?
Batman versus shit. Hold on, Superman. I need to see.
No results found.
What?
When you can't use the search function on someone's site, go to Google it instead.
Oh yeah, exactly.
What did it get? This is 63.
Got 27 and a wow.
Oh wait, sorry, audience score.
27.
Yeah. A reviewer score, an official reviewer score of 27, a user score of 63% liked it.
Okay, so that actually makes a lot of sense. So critics didn't like it. And I am definitely not a critic. But Tyler, as you were even mentioning before, I definitely don't... It takes more to get me immersed in something. No. I'll get immersed in something... Okay. The reason I can get so hype about anime stuff is because I know it's not real. I know it's not trying to be real, so I can just enjoy the ride. Which is why I love the big dumb losers of My Hero, because they're so awesome, because it's like you're such a loser and that's so cool that you can be such a loser and be such a super tough hero all might too. But then there's movies like Batman vs Superman, which are clearly trying so hard to be realistic. And yet, like, logic doesn't work in those movies. And yet, my dad, who I learned all of this from, he actually likes Batman vs. Superman a pretty good bit. And I can't stand that movie. Can't stand it.
Understandable, which is fine.
But it's like, there's where that critic score and audience score. I think I would score it way below, even the audience score. Maybe not as low as the critic score, but I'd probably be in like low 30s. My dad would probably be like in high 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Exactly. And I'm like, Dad, I grew up watching movies that you made me watch, or like, how are we so different on this?
What the
But it's that personal thing where a movie means different things to different people.
Right.
Kind of on that same topic, aggregating these scores doesn't really play well for movies where it's made for a very specific audience. Like I love pulling up this example that when I was 9 years old, I saw the Pokemon movie with my dad, and we saw two completely different movies.
Yes.
I loved it. He hated it. And
dude, that's when I cried. That's an anime worth crying over. When Ash turns to stone and all the Pokemon cried, dude, then I was fucking crying, Tyler.
Top 10 saddest anime battles.
Yo, for real. Top 10 saddest. Jesus. Yo, the world will turn to ash. Oh, wait, no, that was the second one.
That was the second one.
Fuck. I keep forgetting.
I didn't care about any of the Pokemon movies
even
after
when you
that.
consider stuff like, there's I've seen a lot more criticisms more about like the more recent Marvel movies, especially from fans who don't care about anything outside of the cinematic universe, who aren't liking stuff like Ant-Man, where a lot, I don't want to say that the Marvel movies are aimed at Marvel fans, but like, you know what I'm saying, that fans of Marvel in general will always enjoy these movies more than those who aren't.
Yo, the fucking Captain America himself. Spoiler, he said it himself in the last movie.
Oh my god, that was so
Wait, what did he say?
That was the fucked up. That
end,
was so fucked up, dude.
That was so
my
great
God.
that they did that. Freeman, you didn't see Spider-Man: Homecoming?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
All right. It's out of
ruin it
theaters,
for me.
right, Tyler?
Yeah, it's out of theaters. It's
All right.
about to be in Blu-rays
So,
soon.
Freeman, I'm gonna. Minor spoilers. Minor spoilers. This isn't really even a spoiler.
This isn't even a spoiler. Yeah,
it's just a fun thing. So during the movie, since Peter Parker's in school, what do you watch on VHS in school? PSAs.
Yeah.
And who is going to do the ultimate PSA every single time you put him in front of a camera?
My God.
Captain America. And so, like, the last scene of the movie, like one of the post-credits things, or not even a post-credits, I don't remember exactly. One of those bits is Cap on the set of where he was filming these PSAs. And he's like, bitch, and he makes a comment about, like, why do people keep coming to watch the same thing? Or what is, he makes a comment, like, and it's basically like a shot across the bow of everyone who likes Marvel.
Yeah, like, he basically, like, says, like, you know, something along the lines of, like, you come here to, like, these movies, basically, and you wait through the credits every single time
to
expect something. And sometimes, you know, nothing happens, but you stay here every time. Expecting, waiting, basically saying like, "Yo, y'all sheep."
Yeah, it's super meta and it's hilarious.
Call them out. That's good.
It's really good.
I laughed. I'm like, "Wow, I'm literally, I'm jerking Marvel off, and I'm okay with this." And he basically just gave me Captain America just gave me cab fare.
Yeah, he's
and
like,
said, "See you tomorrow night, dude." That's what he did to me. He's like, "You can go clean up outside of my apartment."
He made you give him cab fare.
Yeah, yo, for real. He's like, "Yo, I'm taking this 6-pack. I need cab fare. I'll call you."
Oh my God.
And then he left.
And
I'll be like, "I can't wait."
Call.
He knows I'll be waiting next to my phone. He knows I took out a burner phone just for him.
He knows you're telling your friends that you can't hang out because you might be going out that night.
Yeah, exactly. He knows I'll be waiting by that phone. Yo, Ty, you playing PUBG? Not tonight.
Might be getting a call though.
Might be getting. I got this important conference call. It's so true though.
so that said, studios could argue that for series like that, aggregated scores don't work in their favor, but that's not even close to what they're trying to argue here.
Yeah, no, it's like the newer IPs, right? The non-established IPs that are coming out that, they want recognition for, that they feel like they should, but they're not because of the reviewer score.
Yeah, that's the one disappointing thing, is it seems a lot harder to get interest these days. But that's not even really Rotten Tomatoes or Score's fault. That's just the social...
yeah. It's also why we're getting a lot of... We're also getting a lot of, like, reboots because of that shit, too, though.
Oh my God.
So many.
Like, some of them are good, but at the same time, like, no, I want new IPs. I want new stuff.
It's like
we need another Transformers movie.
I'm pretty sure every single week, at least once, CinemaSins retweets a story about some dumb reboot or remake happening. Like, he just did one today, actually, while we were doing the podcast, I think. Let me check. What was it for? He just did this.
Like, Jumanji's getting a reboot.
Oh my God.
Oh, here it is. An hour ago.
Reboot.
Coming to America 2.
Get the fuck out of here. No.
Wait, you guys know what that is? I don't know what Coming to America is.
Oh my God.
It's a really good Eddie Murphy movie.
America, fuck you.
Dude, well, apparently
James Earl Jones casually dropping Star Wars jokes in the middle of that movie.
Oh
apparently
my God.
There's a sequel coming.
You've never seen Coming? Oh my God, Tim, we need to watch this movie.
I haven't watched a lot of... Honestly, I haven't seen many Eddie Murphy movies. Not gonna lie.
That's fine. Like,
you don't need to watch a lot of them.
Yeah, there's Trading Places and Coming to America. We're not gonna watch Beverly Hills Cop.
What?
It's like Lethal Weapon. It's just too much for me, man.
It is a
Never
little
saw
a
any
lot,
Lethal Weapons. Maybe saw one. I don't remember.
What the fuck? Oh, we need to watch dad movies. We need to watch dad movies.
See,
like,
the funny
right
thing
the
is,
fuck
my
now.
dad didn't show me any of these movies.
Yo,
Oh my God.
Metascore. Yo, I need to look
the
up Coming
whole
to
90s
America.
watching older than the 90s movies. Like, I never watched new stuff when I was growing up.
Coming to America.
The only thing I remember
69%,
seeing was like Star
damn.
Wars, the prequels, and Lord of the Rings.
You know why?
Those I saw in
Because
theaters.
I'm gonna say it right now, Tim. It's a little racially charged, but it's because you're white.
You know, Friedman just was talking about like seeing.
Which
the
I'm
same movies
surprised.
each time.
Which I'm super surprised.
It's fine.
Now-
I'm Jewish.
my
It's different.
Oh my
Here's
god!
the real, for real, here's the real test. Did you watch Friday?
What's Friday?
Friday.
All right, there we go. That's
See?
what I thought.
Nah, see.
That's what I thought.
Oh my
Yeah.
Hold on.
Do you guys know what Friday is?
Hell no,
of course,
dude.
Of course, you guys
Oh
know
my
what
God,
Friday
alright.
is.
I know what this movie is.
You got knocked the fuck out. Big perm. I mean, big worm. Fucking, it's Chris Tucker's like breakthrough movie.
Oh
before,
fuck!
Like,
That
Rush
explains
Hour.
a lot.
yeah, dude, with Ice Cube.
Another guy I've watched almost nothing of.
Do you want to know something?
I remember I watched a marathon of. I saw this movie, then I saw like How High immediately after it.
Wow, Freeman watching Friday and how high.
And dude, How High is such a good movie. I love that movie.
I'm learning something new about Freeman. Learning something so new about Freeman today. This is good. This is really good. I like this. Tim, you need to watch Friday. You need to watch Friday Coming to America.
Hey, speaking of which, according to
Culture.
Wikipedia, a fourth Friday movie got greenlit in April this year.
Jeez.
I know. Well, that's the thing. It's been like back and forth.
I know.
Because
and
Chris-
that's what Wikipedia says.
Yeah, because Chris Tucker is like, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I want to reprise role of Smokey because Smokey was like a weird character. I don't know.
According to the
Unrelated, just because I was on the Eddie Murphy page, Shrek 5 is happening in 2020.
Friday's like one of my top 3 movies. Okay, that's all I wanted to
gonna
say.
ignore that.
That's all I wanted to say. It's one of my favorite movies. I watched it at least maybe once a year or every year, like Resident Evil 4. Next to Training Day.
Wait,
Training Day? You guys seen
you don't
Training
mean the
Day?
fourth Resident Evil movie, right?
No, Resident Evil 4, the game. Friday and Training Day are like the Resident Evil 4, but for like movies though. No Training Day? Fuck. I think I'm the only one who watches like cop movies though.
I watched very no
Buddy
cop
cop
movies.
movies are the
I
best.
watched Die
Hold on.
Hard. That's about it.
Wait,
Die
Tyler,
Hard-
did you see Kung Fury?
Have I seen
Oh,
Kung
yes.
Fury?
I saw that
I
shit.
watched that again
Wait,
for like the
really?
5th time over this weekend.
See, okay, so you know what's funny?
What?
Is Kung Fury really that different style? Like, is it really going for something so different from like Redline?
It's not. I knew that's where you were going.
But it's a
no,
parody.
no,
because
I hear
I'm
you.
in love. I'm so in love with the 80s.
That's fair.
like,
Then that's where the
things-
line is. Because you know what? I
That
watched
is-
Kung Fury and I was super hyped for it, and I was like, wow, this. I actually don't love this.
Yeah,
I thought it was
because
okay, but it was like, I almost feel like the movie needed to take a breath for just a second. And
Yeah,
I was like, nope.
because that's the thing. If I would feel that way, right? If that's not like, but the way I feel about the soundtrack and the way was it like the style of it, like the stylized like 80s everything.
hmm
If that didn't get me so fucking
Hype.
dude, I would definitely feel the same way you would.
See,
Like,
I actually
100%.
totally agreed, but I know it's funny how we keep talking about Redline, but like
No, because it's a good example. That's why.
But Redline, I actually love. Like, taking away even like obviously the fact that they're completely different, but Redline, at least to me, has those just short tap on the brakes so he can get a breath.
Oh, like the
Like,
slow down sequences.
Even that pause in the
Mhm.
music scene that I keep talking about, where he's in the air and it just stops for a second, and you're just coasting, and then bam, right back to the music. But you have that time to like, okay, and then boom, go again. Kung Fury felt like it never, ever took a break.
No, it doesn't.
And I was like,
it doesn't.
For me at least, I couldn't keep up with it by the end.
Fundamentally,
I was laughing so hard that I never needed a break because by the time I was done laughing, another bit was already going on.
gonna hack you back in time. I fucking died. Oh, a laser raptor. I thought those were extinct.
That would explain the dinosaurs.
Fucking dead. See, that's why. Oh god, I hate my life sometimes. Never got a Metacritic score, but 86% of fans like Kung Fury. I feel though, I wholeheartedly feel this would get a low critic score though.
Wait, does it
Probably.
not have a? Where
It does
you getting
not.
that number from?
Of Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
The
Oh,
topic,
see,
the topic of today.
I'm looking on Netflix at Kung Fury.
Does it have reviews on there?
Well, it has thumbs up and thumbs down, but it's not showing me. Like, it's not actually saying what 500 member reviews, but where's the average of it? Like, haha, I keep.
Yeah, you can't trust like thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, but this has stars? Are you able to. What?
Yo,
Are
why
you
is
able to
Training
leave
Day?
Netflix
not-
reviews?
No, hell no.
But then how are there reviews for Kung Fury? There's like 500 written reviews for Kung Fury on here.
Wait, on Rotten Tomatoes?
No, on Netflix.
Oh, dude, I don't fucking
Really?
know.
Yeah.
Just 500.
500
I gave a
written
thumbs
reviews?
up. I
did
gave
too.
up a thumbs
Oh,
up
dude,
to
how good the
Kung
soundtrack
Fury.
Okay,
is.
here's the thing. Here's the
Mitch
thing.
Murder did that soundtrack. That's
no,
why.
the soundtrack is great, and that's the kind of thing that I will happily support. I'll be like, yo, Kung Fury, I didn't love it, but this is the kind of thing, just like you were saying with Redline, Tyler, I can tell if someone really went out of their way to make the dumbest fucking 80s thing ever humanly made, and they killed it. It didn't work for me, but I totally get that this is solid for somebody, and can totally
Wow.
respect that. What?
No, I'm looking at Training Day. I was like, yo, I want to see what Training Day and Friday got. Almost not complete polar opposites, but it's weird. Like they both got 72s, like or 74, but their user reviews are like 90, like 89, 91.
Huh. See, there's Colt.
Yeah, like Friday is definitely a cult movie. Training Day is not.
Yeah, I've heard that
Friday
before,
is.
dude.
You ask any black person though if they've seen Friday. No, I want you to go up to any black person you know. Audience, do the same. Ask if they've seen Friday. They've seen it.
Oh, I almost said the worst thing ever.
Oh man, no. Well,
It's
you
not
can
the
say it
worst
after
thing
the
ever.
show.
It's not the worst thing ever, but I was gonna. No. It's not that bad. I was gonna say I don't work in the same department as the one black guy at my job.
Damn, you live in Ohio.
I live in
So-
like rural almost Ohio.
Yeah, you're not gonna. I bet you if you wander over there though, you might. He just might.
What if I'm like, hey, I'm asking for a friend. Have you seen Friday? He'd be like, oh, I love Friday.
Yo, I love Friday. That's the. I did that once. I like walked up because I was trying to give an example to like my friend.
No, you didn't.
I was like, I swear to God, it was in County College. I was like, yo, dude, like this random like dude I met like once. I was like, yo, Malcolm, like this random dude. I was like, yo, have you seen Friday? He's like, yo, I love Friday. I was like, every black person's seen Friday.
Oh my god. All right. Well, we've kind of spiraled off the topic as always, but that's okay. The more open-ended topics do that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But we've pretty much hit our 2-hour mark, so we should probably get on to closing and talk about
And the
our
whatnot.
upcoming weeks and such. I'm pretty positive that we don't have any comments or anything. Gonna
Let's find out. I haven't
make
actually checked.
totally sure.
Yeah, I didn't check either.
Tyler, I gotta say, it was freaky to see you leave a comment on one of my videos that wasn't the podcast. I was like, oh shit, what? Oh, it's the podcast. No, it's not the podcast.
That's not the
Nothing from
podcast.
Armchair
All right, we
CEO.
don't have anything.
Hold on,
That's
checking
fine.
the old ones in case for some miracle reason we got anything.
But anyway, we don't have anything. But
Nah.
anyway, we said we were going to talk about it super quick. How Freeman and Leslie came out for Ixalan pre-release. I pulled some really good cards for some of my commander decks. I got a card for Kest, Depala, Sram, and what? Wasn't there another one, Freeman? I was like, oh, I'm so happy. There's Vraska's Contempt, the Dowsing Dagger, the Conquerors, and I don't even remember. Who cares? It's not that important. I got some good cards that I opened for my commander decks, but the actual pre-release went kind of shitty for me because I had a round 1 bye, and in a real tournament that's great, but in a tournament
when you're starting at midnight, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, when you're starting, like you're finally starting to play games at 1 a.m. and you're like, I just want to get a game or two and then go home. It's like, fuck, I had 12 hours of work and then I came here and I just want to play Magic and I have to wait an hour to play. That kind of sucked, and then I got pub stomped in round 2, so I basically had played very little Magic that night, which was kind of shitty. But I opened good cards, and Freeman had a much more successful time than I did.
I, on the other hand, had a very different. I walked in doing my usual thing where it's like, I'm going to force this arbitrary archetype in sealed, which you don't want to do. You don't want to say you're going to do something. Just read the cards, figure out what you got. And my packs were screaming pirates at me. So I ended up playing Grixis Pirates, and it came together very well. I won the first game. It kind of helped that my opponent wasn't sure what he was doing and split his sealed pool into 2 different decks so we could kind of catch off guard in game 2, except now both of his decks were kind of awful.
Oh, that's kind of funny, though.
It was cool, though, because I was like, oh, shit, this is a really different strategy. But I told him, like, yeah, if you just played Naya from the start, you probably would have beat me instead of playing green-red the first game and then white-black the second game. Shitty. Yeah. And the second game was a pretty tough matchup against what I said before, Naya Dinosaurs. But I had a lot of fun. I ended up winning both rounds, then we left because it was like 3 a.m. But this is the first time I've ever done well in sealed, so I was very happy.
As far as Leslie and Val, Leslie got O2'd pretty quickly in her game. I think the guy has played a lot more than she has, and this was her first sealed event, so hell, I got pub stomped for my second event, and it's totally understandable. And then, did Val actually win her? Or no, she lost O2 also, but then won as soon as they did a casual game.
And then they played casual games after, and she won both of those. Because I thought they were on game 3, and I was like, man, Val's being really sassy with her opponent. What's going on here? Until I realized, it's just for fun games.
It's fun game 3.
Yeah.
The only games I won that night was 2 fun games against Leslie, because Leslie wasn't really sure what she was doing, and she built red, green, blue dinosaurs, which is
a little off theme for what the dinosaurs are supposed to be in the set.
I will say the tribal stuff is really cool in this set, but it seems like it's pirates or dinos or nothing.
Merfolk felt very underwhelming.
Merfolk seems like trash, and Vampires seems barely functional.
Prediction, we're getting like a Lord of Atlantis, Master the Pearl Trident reprint in
sure, but
in the Dominaria to make it viable and standard.
It literally just feels like you have to do dinos or pirates or don't even bother.
I'm curious how it plays out in the draft, though.
I feel like everyone's just going to go for dinos and then pirates, and then it's like, but what do the last 2 people do?
I don't know.
Like, there doesn't seem to be a lot of space in this set, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that everything is part of a tribe means that everything kind of synergizes into the 2 big groups. You know what I mean?
The problem is, outside of that one spell I had where it was like, return a pirate to your hand, outside of that, and outside of my one really lucky mythic pull, which is the only lord for the set that gives creatures of a type 1/1, outside of that, none of my cards really cared about having too many other pirates.
No, that's true, but like all the Merfolk cards, the few Merfolk cards seem to play together. Like the Merfolk blue cards don't play well with the pirate cards. The pirate cards are basically better, so if you're playing blue or black, you're basically going pirates. And then but then Merfolks are also green, but if you're going green, you're definitely going dinosaurs. And then if you're it's dinos are huge, and that takes up all of green, most of white, and most of red. Then pirates is left with mostly blue and mostly black and some red. And then you have vampires with some black and white. Merfolk got nothing. So it's not even that you want to build a tribe, it's that all the good cards are in those tribes.
Yeah, I'm
Or-
honestly genuinely curious how the draft format plays out. I might try and
Yeah.
watch some streamers and see how it goes.
No, definitely. But that's how it at least felt. Like looking around a little bit that night, it was like, oh, you're playing dinos, you're playing dinos, you're playing dinos, you're playing pirates, you're playing pirates, you're playing vampires. That's cool. Oh no, the other card I opened was the mythic vampire, who Val could have used a lot for her deck because she always plays
yeah, the
vampires.
black-white one.
Anyway, that's pre-release. Overall, I still had a fun time, even though I got totally demolished and it sucked as far as playing. But yeah. As far as upcoming weeks, Freddie, why don't you lead us off?
I was gonna spend most of this week playing Guild Wars 2, but it sounds like other stuff's happening. There's another Jewish holiday this weekend. I am going to Hershey Park on Sunday because my company does this thing every fall where they buy out Hershey Park for a Sunday.
What?
So only people only people from UPS can buy tickets. So there's basically no lines. So I think it's like 10 to 4 it's open.
I guess I mean UPS is fucking huge. So
it is, but
it's a lot of people.
It's not that many people.
Well, okay, when you say buys it out, do you mean like your office or like the New Jersey offices?
UPS. I think it's just the UPS IT.
Oh shit!
So that means our New Jersey and our Maryland groups.
Wow.
I think
that's amazing.
It might be the delivery people. I'm not sure. But
is it normally open on Sunday? It has to be.
Usually it is, but it's starting to. I want to say it closes down at the end of fall, but I know Sunday they always have reduced hours. There's just some Sundays they do like sell at the park. So you can't. It's not every Sunday.
Cool.
I want to say it's the lead up to like the fall events is usually when they start closing on Sundays, just because people are in school. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. I know I didn't get a chance to go the first 2 years. The first year there was a storm that weekend, so they canceled. The second time I had some school related thing I'd take care of, and my coworkers went and they said, yeah, there's pretty much no line for anything. And if there was, it was 10 minutes.
Wow. That's nuts.
So I'm excited to go on every roller coaster a million times. But outside of that, try and squeeze in some Guild Wars 2. I want to unlock the rest of my mounts and explore the rest of the new maps, which is going to take a shit ton of time that I wished I had. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my week.
I honestly don't have much going on. My weekends have been very up in the air. I'm gonna try and do stuff this weekend because I got my wisdom teeth out last weekend. Play some more Zelda. I started watching Black Mirror, so I'll probably watch some more of that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe catch a movie. I still didn't see American Assassin like I had planned to, so I might drag Leslie to see it. Or another movie, but I don't know. Outside that, I got nothing else going on.
Can I just interrupt 1 second?
Yeah.
So I was listening to the radio this morning, and there was some ad for a movie that's in theaters, and they're kind of like listing off taglines. And at one point, the narrator just says "Two Brothers," and I couldn't unhear the Rick and Morty "Two Brothers" movie pitch.
Two brothers.
Two brothers.
I heard the phrase "two brothers" recently. Like someone said it or something. Maybe while you guys were here, or maybe it was at work or something. And I heard the phrase "two brothers," and I'm like, "Oh, two brothers."
Oh God, no, I don't.
Two brothers.
Two Brothers was an actual movie in 2004.
Oh my God. As far as my week, I'm gonna steal the Rihanna phrase of I think it's Rihanna of work. All I do is work.
Oh no.
I've been working 9-10 hours every day. Probably almost definitely have to work one weekend day this week, possibly part of another one. I'd really like to take a Saturday off so I can take Kess to the store and smash some face. Because that's the whole reason I built fucking Kess.
Yeah, put him in the dirt.
I want to... Oh, Tyler, I didn't get to... Or did I tell you guys how my... I think I mentioned how I brought it to work. Or no, I told you...
Oh, you just said it. You just talked about it.
Did I? Did I say?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, how I cast the 40... Yeah.
You said... Yo, sometimes I zone out, but sometimes I catch things like that.
No, it's okay, because I forgot, because my coworker who I sit next to, he asked me how I did, and I didn't go into that much detail, but I also told Val, and I was just, like, I can't remember who I tell things to, because there's too many people. Anyway, But yeah, I'm just gonna be at work a lot. Tomorrow I'm gonna record more Dragon Age because Shadow Warrior is a lot of fun, but Dragon Age is up next in the schedule, and I gotta record. Maybe on the weekends if I have time, I'll also record Shadow Warrior. I'm hoping not to have a gap every end of the month for the rest of the year. Just seems like it's gonna be crap / forever till the end of the month. But in good news, next weekend is New York Comic Con.
Oh yeah,
a bunch of losers going to that one.
Val just found our passes that Tyler didn't even know were missing.
Yeah,
she found them like. Freeman, they were still missing when you guys were here.
Yeah, you guys were panicking a little on the car ride.
Well, Val was.
Or Val was, yeah.
I really, I mean, I don't mind to go, but I also wasn't like, yay, Comic Con. But we are going to New York Comic Con on Saturday next week. Probably going to be there all day knowing Val. She is dressing up and she is allowing me not to, which is a fucking miracle.
She's allowing you not to.
Dude,
damn.
Fight for permission.
Not up for it. No, look, this is her thing. She wants to go to it. If I can dress up in a costume that's not too hard, I will, but there's just no time for me to do anything, and I'm not buying some costume just for this.
Yeah.
So, and Val was also hoping we would do stuff for Halloween, so I'd rather...
So you need a costume for that.
That'll probably need a costume, but that'll also be determined by whether or not you guys wear costumes out here for the party.
I don't wear costumes, Tim.
I know.
I'm sorry.
One of my cosplays and see what happens.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, that's okay. That's all future stuff. But yeah, next week. So probably no one who's listening to this is going. But I mean, every year I've gone, the last 2 years, I tweeted about it and stuff, and I literally saw no one there, so that's okay. I don't have that many viewers anymore. So, but I'm gonna be at New York Comic Con. It'll be fun on Saturday. Tyler's actually gonna be there on Thursday next week.
I will be there.
But we'll be there on Saturday.
They'll be selling official TNT podcast merchandise.
Just give out pins to people and try to get it to go viral.
Yeah, TNT podcast.
Guys, TNT podcast.
We're really exploding lately.
No, then it's gonna be a bomb threat on the building.
Oh my god.
Oh god, no.
No, don't do that.
But other than that, I'm really just at work all the frickin' time because we're so far behind. We're screwed. Yay.
Unfortunate.
But yeah, so I think we're gonna call it there, right at the 2 hour 10 minute. You know what's funny?
It's gonna be shorter for that because our break is in that count.
That's true. But the last few weeks, our time. I think 2 weeks ago to last week, our start of closing time was off by about 10 seconds as far as the time code.
Really?
Yeah. It was freaky actually when I was like, oh god, I only have to change one digit of this number to get it right. But anyway, we're gonna head off for now. Thanks for listening, everybody, and this has been the TNT podcast, and we will catch you guys next week.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.